Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are watching this. Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles. So carrying on with our blues rock journey, today we're going to have a look at a guy who, for me, should be right up there with the Steve Vais, the Joe Satrianis, the Jimmy Pages, and the Jimi Hendrixes of this world. So I'm talking about the Canadian guitarist Frank Marino. Frank Marino's had a sort of a dual career. In the 70s, he had a very successful career with his band Mahogany Rush. And then I think into the 80s he went with some solo stuff. And still playing today, still creating music. Fantastic guitarist. And in the early days he got compared to Hendrix rather unfavorably, I thought. I mean, he's got his own sound, definitely. Great singing voice, very different. Great use of the wah-wah pedal as well, which is probably where the Hendrix sort of thing comes from. You know, people say that's too much like Hendrix. Robin Trower had the same problem with people accusing him of being a Hendrix clone, but both of these guys have got their own stamp, their own signature tune, their own sound. So yeah, I think that's a bit unfair. So we're going to jump in and see what we have. I don't have all of his records or CDs. I have a fair amount. He's brought out some incredible live stuff as well. Some quite recent as well. I'll get into that in a minute. So he was born on the 20th of November 1954, Italian-Canadian. He's made 5 solo albums. Quite a few of them have been remastered of late, including Juggernaut and Full Circle. So I think Juggernaut was 2012, Full Circle was 2005, and they've done a really good job with those remasters as well, from what I've heard. The band Mahogany Rush, they were formed in 1970, so that goes quite way back. Their style, I guess you would call it psychedelic blues rock, especially the early stuff, very psychedelic, a lot of songs that were quite out there, especially with the guitar styling. Really great albums nonetheless. And they released 8 studio albums and about 4 or 5 live albums. Live stuff is really great as well. The most recent is a live DVD. I'll get back to that. And yeah, so let's jump in and see what I have to show you. The great Frank Marino. So we're going to go all the way back to, this is 1977. Mahogany Rush. And the album called World Anthem. This is probably my favorite Mahogany Rush album. Starts off with a track called Requiem for a Sinner, which has got this guitar that just comes in slowly. Great atmospheric vibe. Really nice sustain on the guitar. And he has a tone all of his own. You know, like many great guitarists do, they have a signature tone. Frank Marino definitely. Hey Little Lover, Broken Heart Blues, In My Ways, the World Anthem, the title track, also great. Look at Me, Lady, and Try for Freedom. So on here we had Frank Marino, guitars, vocals, synthesizers, percussion, and timpani. So he was quite involved in this album. Paul Harwood on bass guitar. Jim Ayub, I think that's how you say his surname, on drums. And yeah, it was produced by Frank Marino as well. Really nice album. There's a picture of the guys. That's Frank Marino in the middle there. Yeah, 70s, long hair. Not much styling done in those days. Really a good one to check out. If you haven't yet discovered Frank Marino, that's one to start with. Then we go to 1979 for the album Tales of the Unexpected. It's quite a cool cover. And yeah, this one was produced and arranged by Frank Marino as well, so he was quite involved with the early Mahogany Rush stuff. Sister Change, a really great version of All Along the Watchtower. And obviously because of him getting this sort of Hendrix tag, he thought, well, I might as well just go with it. But he brings a whole different vibe to the Hendrix stuff. You know, you can still hear it's a Hendrix kind of song, but it's Frank Marino. Norwegian Wood, also that's a cover, really nice. Tales of the Unexpected, Down, 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 Door of Illusion, Woman, and Bottom of the Barrel, which is also a great track. This guy could really let rip as far as lead breaks go, but he could also be very melodic, play with a hell of a lot of feeling. You know, like somebody like Gary Moore would have done. Also very fast, but could also play with feeling. You know, all these guys that play like 1,000,000 miles an hour, anybody can do that. But if you can play with feeling and really say something in your songs, I think that makes a big difference. So that's another one to check out, Tales of the Unexpected. And then we jump to 1982. This is part of his solo career, and the album called Juggernaut. And that's him at the back there. So what do we have on here? Strange Dreams, that's a great number, one of my favorite of his solo career. That was a big hit for him. Midnight Highway, Stories of a Hero, and Free. Maybe It's Time, Ditch Queen, For Your Love, and the title track Juggernaut. So on here, it's a few lineup changes with his solo career. Tim Berry on drums, Frank Marino guitars, vocal synthesizer, Paul Harwood bass guitar, and Vince Marino, his brother, on rhythm guitar. He mostly I see here he plays a Les Paul by the looks of things. But he also plays a Gibson SG, guitar favored by Tony Iommi and Angus Young and many others. And that seems to be his sort of stock-in-trade guitar. But he has jumped to Les Pauls and what have you as well. Another great album to check out. And then the only other two physical ones I have to show you, both live albums. The one called Double Live, and this was in the 70s as well, I think. And this is with Mahogany Rush. You can see the glare there. You Got Living, Midnight Highway, Free, Poppy, that was another great track, very long track. Roadhouse Blues, Who Do You Love, Guitar Prelude, Electric Reflections, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Juggernaut, and Strange Dreams. So here he's with Mahogany Rush, but he's also playing some of his solo stuff because Juggernaut was a solo album. Frank Marino, Vince Marino, Paul Harwood, Tim Berry, and Claudio Pesavento on keyboards. Tim Berry on drums, Paul Harwood bass, and obviously Frank Marino guitar, and his brother on guitar as well. Great live album. Then for me, even a better live album. This is from 1978. Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush live. Yeah, not the best cover in the world, especially with CDs with this border. It kind of messes up the picture. It should just be a black album if I had the vinyl to show you. But nonetheless, a really great album. A new rock and roll, Johnny Be Good. Amazing version of Johnny Be Good on here. He really lets rip. Excerpt from Who Do You Love? Electric Reflections of War. The World Anthem. And a stunning version of Purple Haze. Like I said, he does the Hendrix stuff so well. Just want to see if there's anything I can show you inside here. Not really. Yeah, this was a very basic CD release, not a remaster or anything like that. But if you want to go for the early live stuff, I would definitely go with this one. Simply called Frank Marino Mahogany Rush Live. It's on the Columbia label, which was a Sony label. Really good stuff. So that's all I have to show you. I'm afraid there's many of his albums that I still need to collect, especially some of the early Mahogany Rush stuff where it's a lot of that great psych guitar. You know, in those days, the guys were trying to stretch things a bit, get a bit adventurous, and Frank Marino was no exception. So I just want to mention a live DVD called Live at the Agora Theatre, recorded in 2010, only released in 2019. The reason being that there was a whole big mess with the recording and they had to redo it, and it took years and years to get this thing released, but it's really worth checking out. If you've never heard of Frank Marino before and you sort of overlooked him, or if you know about him but you've forgotten about him, if you can get your hands on that DVD, it's going to be quite pricey. It's sort of in a box. It's 6 hours worth of Frank Marino. Yeah, 6 hours. So there's 3 sets, and there's so many tracks. A lot of Hendrix tracks on there, all along the Watchtower, Purple Haze, a lot of his own stuff, obviously. He plays an amazing version of Are You Experienced, the Hendrix track. Wind Cries Mary, his own compositions as well, Dragonfly, Requiem for a Sinner, a great version on there. There's a lot to watch. And there you can see him playing his SG. The weird thing is that I've never seen it on, or I haven't seen it on a lot of SGs, is a whammy bar. You don't normally see that with an SG, and he plays that so well. So it's pretty much him on guitars and vocals. The current band, Mark Weber on drums, Mark Weber on bass, Dave Good on drums, and A.V. Ludmer on violin and guitars. Plays violin on a few tracks. Got to say, the bass player just stands in one place. Doesn't do anything. Great bass player, but not a great guy to watch. So thankfully the guitar gets most of the attention. And he makes it look so effortless. You know, he's a really fluid player. A lot of expression into his playing. And a great singer, like I mentioned. Very unique kind of voice. Sort of gravelly. Works really well within the blues rock genre. So there we go, guys. Frank Marino. If you haven't checked him out, I urge you to do so. You won't be disappointed. Great guitarist. Still going today. Flying the flag for blues guitar. Please, guys, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Any comments are more than welcome. And next time in the blues rock journey, we're going to look at the late, great Stevie Ray Vaughan. Sadly missed, and a guy that should have carried on for much longer than he did. Have a good week. Take it easy, take care, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.